Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, the city of Philadelphia is one of rich history and passion, and you can always count on the latter when you step inside Lincoln Financial Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. This is taken at his 4. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11 quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
He's always been an incredible decision maker on the field. Takes care of the ball really well, puts his team in the right positions, makes sure the play calls are accurate. Also was a minor league baseball player. Didn't hit very well there. I think he made a great career choice picking football.
On first down, Wilson. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
So let's all work together on this one because It's natural to just watch the football, but I want all of us to watch the center of this offensive line, the center and the two guards. They've got to be able to control the point of attack, and they didn't do such a good job on that last play. Plenty of opportunities to redeem themselves. They'll have to take advantage of that and start to make progress.
It'll be a gain of 4. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. A look now at the defensive starters for Philadelphia. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
In today's football, there aren't a lot of goals for defenses. But when you hold a team under 100 total yards of offense, yeah, that has to be a goal that was met. Big check mark for them in last week's game.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf, he's got it. A gain of 8 and a 1st down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Travis Homer, the former Miami Hurricane. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. They get 17 on that one, move the chains, 1st down Seahawks. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It'll be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 2nd down, Nickerson. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 34-yard line. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket. Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground. On 2nd down now, Nickerson. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball. 3rd and long. It's Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A really nice gain of 25 yards. I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks. On 1st down, Nickerson. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey,
these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Wilson. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. They moved the ball pretty well there on the opening drive. You think they're okay settling for 3?
I don't think they're happy about settling for 3, but I think you're exactly right with the word okay, because they threw it well, they ran it well. Excellent balance for the first drive of the game.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
He didn't have as many throws or plays in college as many of the quarterbacks that were coming out in the draft, but he maximized what he had. Ended up winning 2 national championships as a starting quarterback at North Dakota State.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
It's a second down run with Sanders. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Watch the flag, watch the flag, watch the flag. Watch the flag, motion, block. Joker. Bang, bang. Black, come on. Bang, bang.
On 3rd down, it's Freeman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43.
Hey, we got 3 down.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. As Sanders has it punked free. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
2nd and 10 now. Wilson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
Mike, move for three. Mike. Hey, watch the ball.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
But he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense. They'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
And Jennings has it. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break.
380. 51. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go. Switch.
They'll run on 1st down. Nickerson. And not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 2nd down, Nickerson. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. And he's going to take this close to the 1st down marker as he's stopped at the Eagles' 15-yard line.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And he will have the 1st down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal.
280.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And here he'll get it down to the 7. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack.
Really talk about how teams are so competitively matched and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. Zuerlein's kick is up and through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the 1st. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away, maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? A pass complete here to Aitman. There he goes, right side. 20, 10, touchdown, Philadelphia. Marcel Aitman, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Extra point attempt to come here. And he puts it through. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're kind of searching for that magic elixir. You know, they're moving the football a little bit, but not with any great consistency.
I love that term you just used, elixir, right?
Old school.
Old school. I love that because you don't want to put too much pressure on your defense as well, all right? If you're kicking field goals, that's great, but your defense has to keep going out there and holding the other team. You're not giving them any cushion to work with, and that gets tougher and tougher as the game goes along. Put the ball in the end zone and get sixes. That's the ambrosia that they're looking for.
Ambrosia, and trying to erase this deficit. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
On second down now, Nickerson. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On third down, Wilson. And he'll find Hall. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The end result, 21 yards. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky.
Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. On first down, Nickerson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Malone Nichols. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Here's Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Here's Wilson to throw, and this is going to be incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
It's a gain of 7. Makes it 3rd and 4.
Wentz now to throw. Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. Wentz can pull it down when he needs to, and the 6'5" quarterback picks up the 1st down.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that 1st down now. I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, they're working on it for a little bit.
I'm coming after you.
They'll run on 1st down. Sanders, and he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now it's Freeman. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. It's an Eagles 1st down on a gain of 11. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out in the running game.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Wentz on the give to Sanders. And he loses the football a second time. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw again, Wilson. And his throw is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On first down, it's Samuels. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now a play fake. Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Shotgun now for Wentz. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Seahawks have picked it up. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you give a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson. Good return as he'll take it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
The offense trots back onto the field, and we take an in-depth look at Royce Freeman. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On second down, it's Sanders. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. It's a gain of 16 and an Eagle first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Throw left side complete. It's Bowers. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
On second and 12, Wentz. That's complete to his tight end, Seals Jones. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. The offense on third down tonight, they've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. Here's Wentz to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Now on fourth down, Doug Peterson turns it over to the field goal unit. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they take the lead here by a point, 10-9. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for them, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense. Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long at the outset of it. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, ringing the cowbell there on the sack.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. $51 yards on the punt there. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Carson Wentz and the Eagles getting set to take over. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. From the gun on third down, Wentz. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready. Convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. On first down, Wilson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And here's Wilson, throwing again. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back in pass rush. They've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm, throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Philadelphia.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Wentz will try again on second down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now Wentz on third down. And that will be incomplete.
The It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Under a minute to play here in the half. Time for a late drive.
It makes sense when you think about it. Hey, try and get a field goal. Give yourself
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nigel Bradham flying in and laying the lumber defensively.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a one-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, where you see the final score there. A field goal, the difference. 17-14, the final. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars. Marcus Mariota, 3 touchdown passes as his guys moved to 2-0 on the young season. And finally, on Monday Night Football, should be a good one there between the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? Find out. Let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Eagles to take over. They were winners last week, defeating the New York Giants. They lead this one as well right now as they come up 1st and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Running to start the drive is Samuels. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Got an open man, it's Aitman.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Shotgun handoff to Samuels. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wentz. They'll find his tight end, Seals Jones.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions, and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
Sanders here as they run out of the gun. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now a give running right is Samuels. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. On 1st down, Samuels. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Hey, watch that. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he'll be tackled right on the 10, well short of the first down. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll run it now out of the gun. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They'll keep it on the ground. Nickerson, and not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. On 3rd down, Wilson, and that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know, the rhythm seems off. This is taken around the 12. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Carson Wentz, along with his offense, heading back out there for their next possession. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side, you know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. That's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play, and guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Working from the gun, Wentz. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Seahawks are going to retake the lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here's Carson Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent. Just the one touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader. Making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this 3rd and 4th quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, but now it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Great 15, great 15. 54 is Mike, 54 is
Wentz. Looking outside, and he's got a man. That's Bowers. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. Wentz now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
You ain't doing nothing today.
They go draw play. This is Samuels. And they're able to swarm him behind the line and his rough night continues. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. On 2nd and 1, Wentz got his man complete over the middle. It's Bowers. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 20-yard line.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
From the red zone now, Wentz setting up the screen. This is Samuels. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Now Wentz. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So,
and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Marcel Aitman with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Eagles have retaken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 4-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. They'll keep it on the ground. Nickerson. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. He was able to pick up 6 yards there, so that leaves him with a 3rd and 13.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
The penalty helps a bit, but still 8 yards to go on 3rd down for this offense. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Fletcher Cox, his 2nd sack of the night. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. Fielded just inside the 20. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Hard throw, incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
The Eagles send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Wilson to throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Wilson. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Taken from just outside the 30. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. On play action, Wentz. Over the middle, complete. That's Bowers. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field. and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Gotta do better. Come on, QB, come on.
Now Wilson going to throw again. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Wilson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Throwing is Wilson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
2nd and 10. It's Wilson again. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target. And it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. On 2nd and 9, Wentz. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
That's how we do it.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack.
Let's get off the field, D.
Now Wentz. He's got the hook up here on the comebacker, complete. A gain of 22. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Here's Samuels. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On 2nd down now, it's Sanders, and he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player, but he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. It's Sanders. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Royce Freeman, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
The extra point up and good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the final act came from Royce Freeman on the touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good run.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs. They covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Hey, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Let's go, B. Let's go.
The Seahawks will go for it. It's Wilson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Below Nichols. Thank goodness. That means this next drive is going to begin 1st and goal already at the 5-yard line. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that when that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
So Russell Wilson in the offense. Down by 2 touchdowns. 2:21 the time left. They have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but they need 2 scores. The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. First down Seahawks.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Wilson. And he'll find Hall. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. First down Seahawks. Well, throw on first down with Wilson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Fletcher Cox in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Exactly what they were looking for. They've been giving up yardage. They've been letting them drive right downfield, but they got a sack right there. How about that for a little bit of revenge?
Now it's Wilson.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson looking middle, and it's incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
To throw again is Wilson. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now Wilson. And this is caught, so it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least 1 play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though, now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be 1 kneel and then handshakes. So fly, Eagles, fly. It's a victory for Philadelphia. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.